Kiss 107.1.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen. It is so good for you to be with us on today. I hope that those of you who are coming in would like, tag, and share this conversation with those that you know. Let everybody know that Straight Talk is on. If you're listening to us on your FM dial, that is on 107.1 FM. We certainly thank you for your continued listenership and making this your number one show in our target audience. I want to give a shout out, first of all, to my main man. I got the producer in the house, Matt, a.k.a. White Soul. What's good, Matt?
What up, Doe? How are you doing today?
What up, Doe? We're doing good today. It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Such a beautiful day with the neighbors. Would you be mine? Would you be mine? Would you be my neighbor? Those of you who grew up back in the 70s and 80s, if y'all 70s, 80s babies, y'all know what's going on, Mr. Rogers. But we certainly think so. Matt, what's going on with your life? What's happening in your world?
Well, I'm getting ready to go visit my grandparents down in Detroit for the 4th of July holiday. Me and some friends are planning on getting together and, throwing a little barbecue and going in on some fireworks together. And yeah, it's honestly been a quiet weekend. My little brother, he's at his dad's house for this week, and my little sister, she's up north. So it's honestly just been quiet. What about
quiet.
you?
So you like the quiet in the house, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Every now and then you need a break. Well, for me, it's been a busy week. We got a lot going on, a lot that has happened, a lot that is happening. But I'm so glad I woke up yesterday and I was saying something, I think a couple of days ago, like, I am so thankful to be me. It's a blessing to be me. It's a blessing to wake up with the activities of your limbs, to wake up and be able to do the things that you love every single day. And I thank God for this place and this space and this opportunity. For those of you who are just chiming in, I don't see you rolling in the stream. I see the numbers populating, but I don't see any names. So if you're out there, give me a shout out. Let me know you're here. If you're listening to this show and you're saying, hey, this show ain't so bad, I might want to listen to this information and other shows like this. After this show is done, we create a podcast for this show and we post it to the page. If you want to look for it, you can go to kisswtlz.com. Go on there and you look for the shows. You'll see me on Sunday. And then you hit that show and it'll show you other shows that are there. Go ahead.
It's also on Facebook.
Also, there you go. There's a living archive of what takes place every single week on Facebook, on YouTube. Go check it out on YouTube. When you go to YouTube, you not only see this show, but you see all of the body of work that we do with this one in our sister station, WSGW, United Shades of Gray, Conversations of Race in America. Go to YouTube, like and subscribe, hit the notification link. So whenever we come on, you will get a notification. My first person in the stream is a longtime love of mine, Alma Balkaya. So great to see you out there in the social media stream. You're the first name that came up. I see others that are out there, but we certainly want to thank you. Years and years of support all the way back to the days of Morning Manna with Pastor K. And I know some of you have said, listen, we got to bring Morning Manna with Pastor K back. We're looking for that time and space to be able to do it, but we're going to get it done. Okay, so today's show is going to be a fun show because we're going to talk about hot topics. We're going to talk about all of the hot topics, all of the issues that are out there, everything that is going on from A to Z. We're going to hit as much of that stuff as we can. And I want your opinions. My producer is going to put the number in the stream for those of you. If you have a thought or comment that you would like to share, this is a great opportunity for you to do that. I believe the number is 989-921 7107. There we go. 989-921-7107. Every time I have to give that number out, I falter. I'm going to get it right the one time. But I want to start today. So much is going on. It's the 4th of July weekend. It's crazy because it seems like Memorial Day was just around the corner. we tend to think and see Memorial Day as the official kickoff of the summer, when the warm weather comes in. And I know during Memorial Day weekend, I think in May, it was like 85 and 95, 98 degrees, and we were enjoying the warm days of summer. So June, actually, we all understand that June 20th, 22nd, somewhere around there, depending on the year, is the official beginning of summer. But what are you all? This is July. 4th of July represents like we are in the beginning of the thing. The 93 days of the dog days of summer are here. We are in it. The holidays coming up. What are your plans for the 4th of July? Y'all know how we like to do it. We want to know who making the macaroni and cheese, who putting the bones on the grill, where the burgers, the brats, the baked beans. We do the whole thing. And I'm just wondering if anybody out there, y'all got to play for your brother out there, because I'm not putting nothing on the grill. I'm not doing anything this year but chilling and relaxing for this 4th of July. But if y'all know y'all want, hey, if I can be cutting teeth, long lost relative, we'll do that. I'll be definitely willing to come over. We can slide through, have some 4th of July conversations. Good evening to you, Miss Cherise Steele Phillips. She says, good evening, fans, friends, and family. Oh, I love that. The 3 F's of Straight Talk: fans, friends, and family. But I certainly want to thank those of you who are out there. Give me a shout out. Let me know what you're doing for the 4th of July weekend. The 4th, are you celebrating? There's a lot of Black folks who are out there. Some of my brothers and sisters who are saying, listen, we don't celebrate the 4th of July because this date didn't mean anything to us, but it did mean something to us. The 4th of July meant something to everyone who is an American citizen, meaning that it was a celebration from tyranny and control as it related to the elite of Great Britain, the king, and the throne in the UK. And so whether you are, if you're an American citizen, period, the 4th of July has some great significance. We had to fight that battle to then turn around 100 years later and have that same battle called the Civil War, in which Black folks were finally free to some degree in 1863 with the Emancipation Proclamation. And then when we celebrate, as we've said before, Juneteenth, in 1865, June 19th. So if you are a celebrator of Juneteenth, we've celebrated our independence as a people. Now we celebrate our independence as a nation. That's how we can look at that with the 4th of July. But what's going on? Who's on the grill? Tell me, who got the best barbecue out there? Where is the best mac and cheese? I want to know. If you are it and you the grill master, you the one with the best tips, you the one with the best cubes, you got the brisket that melts in your mouth. I want to know what's going on. Who's got it? Once again, that number 989-921-7107. Let me know what you're doing for the 4th. All right, so a lot on the schedule, a lot on the plate to talk about in this special edition of Hot Topics. First of all, the Olympics are right around the corner. Matt, are you excited about the Olympics? Because I tell you, I am.
Yeah, especially for basketball. We've been forming I would say the Dream Team 2.0 per se.
So you're excited about the basketball team?
Oh yeah,
man. There is a young buck, young man. I will put you out of your misery. Oh, okay, all right. Here we go. Alma Collier out there. She is starting the trash talk from the grill. I see you through the smoke over there, Alma Collier. She says that Andre Martin is the grill master. Now, I'm going to say this because I did have an opportunity. I came over Miss Martin's house for some event, and Andre was on the grill. I happen to know Dre, and Dre does his thing on the grill, but there are some real challenges to this. But I appreciate that, Alma Collier, for throwing Dre's name in the middle. Andre Martin is the grill master. We'll see what happens. So Jay Bulls, he said that he's interested as well. So you're looking forward to basketball?
Yeah, and track. Especially, I just saw Mr. Jeffrey Bull's comment and track. I've been seeing a lot of track videos and, like the qualifying rounds and, just like, I don't know, the national championships.
Man,
every year.
exciting. Okay. So first of all, I just had to address your the basketball one. Basketball will be interesting. It is now actually interesting because we have so many players that are in the league that are actually playing for their home teams. And so the NBA is playing against the NBA since the NBA has opened its doors to become the IBA. And I said this maybe 15 years ago. I know it was way before I was on the radio, that the intention of the NBA was to become the IBA. And it was to open up opportunities for a greater brand development, a international brand, bringing in billions of additional dollars. We saw that with the beginning of Yao Ming and other individuals, the dollar that came in, the money that came in. And so now we have sold the NBA to where we've lost what I believe some of the best quality basketball, and we've watered it down to where we're playing with ticky-tack fouls and nothing really, no rules. You can, I thought it was a step and a half for a layup. Now you get like 5 steps for that. They got the stutter step. You can carry the ball. Fundamentals are no longer a thing because that was what was unique to the NBA. Now we have all of these other players that we have to make concessions to the rule if they're going to survive, and we're going to grow those audiences. So I believe that the worst thing that could have happened is that we had all of these international players. We started actually branding and gearing and going after and marketing towards them to get them into the league. That's my thought. I don't have to be right. Y'all don't have to agree. I really don't care. All right, but that's my thought. But anyways, I'll go toe to toe with you and Mr. Bulls. Ladies track, Sha'Carri Richardson. Everybody say that with me. Sha'Carri Richardson. I am so geeked. We know the story, and if you've been following what's been going on with this young lady and how she has had to overcome so much with the situation, with smoking, and I mean, the performance enhancing allegations, the timing, and then, just her mental was off for a period of time, and she did not qualify. Now we see all systems running and functioning together. We see her now in her best. She is in beast mode, as you said, Shar Goolsby. I agree with you 1,000%. And I think that all of America, all of us, are waiting to see her take her shining moment. And my prayer is that she's able to just continue to keep everything together, that the stages, the lights, that the stress and the weight that is on her shoulders is not too much. But I believe she is, as you said, a beast. And I believe that she's got it good. Right now, the grill master is Andre Martin. He is the grill master, according to Al Mackay. The best ribs in the city is what I'm told here. All right. But the other person that I'm excited and I'm hoping, and I know I cannot wait to see, track and field is my thing. What about Noah Lyles?
I mean, I've heard of him.
Oh, you've heard of him? Noah Lyles is like Usain Bolt, Carl Lewis, and some of these greats reincarnated. He and Coleman were in such a battle for a long time, and I think that Noah, his falter has always been that he was a horrible person out of the blocks. And so he would always have a poor start, and he would make the distance up as the engine got cranking, is how he would win. And so the 100-meter dash was always fleeting for him. Absolutely. And the 100 and 200, Jeff, you know what I'm talking about. But the 100 was always difficult, and he would lose to Chris Coleman sometimes because Chris is out of the blocks like fire. Well, Noah has been putting in the work. We see what he is doing. He's coming out of the blocks better. Still a lot to be desired, but just that small enhancement. And this is what's so great. Athletes coming together that have been just tweaking very subtly different parts of their sport, and just tweaking small tweaks and adjustments. This is what is so amazing about the Olympics. It is the best of the best of the best. This is one of the reasons why I feel that they were justified in not bringing little Miss Molly Caitlin Clark to the Olympics, because she is in this moment not the best of the best. She has the potential to be one of the best. There are those who are already there. I was watching my girl Diana Taurasi, who I have watched and is a beast and has been a beast for a long time. And I looked at, Lisa Leslie. We brought her to Saginaw. She was absolutely amazing. Candace, I mean, there's so many women who have been doing their thing. And so it is great to see these individuals who have put in work for 4 years and practicing and making those adjustments. So I'm excited to see what Noah Lyles does in the 100 and the 200. I'm saying in advance, records beware. I think there is the potential with these guys hitting under 19, breaking that 19 barrier in the 200 and under 10 in the 100 to see some record smash. But I'm going to tell you, man, the young man that I'm most excited about, and I'm praying for his opportunities, maybe on the relays, maybe in some of these open meets, is Quincy Wilson, I think is what his name is. The 16-year-old phenom. What do you think about him, Matthew?
Now, him I've heard of. And another person, I can't remember her name, but I believe she was the youngest person, and she's been off the charts with swimming at the moment.
Yes.
You know who I'm talking
Yes.
about?
I do
believe
not
she's
remember
like
her
15
name.
or 16
Yes,
or something like
doing
that.
great things.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And then we got the Olympics. We saw, what was her name? I was going to say Gabby Thomas. I'm not sure if that's her name.
Yeah, I believe so.
That was in the Olympics.
Yeah, gymnastics.
Yeah, gymnastics. And you know, very controversial. She said she had to take a break. Is that her name? I'm struggling to see if that's her name, but she took a break for her mental health. She is back and she is on fire. So I'm excited about seeing what's going to take place with all of those things. It's right around the corner. Noah Lyles, Quincy, Sha'Carri Richardson, the whole ensemble. I love the relays. I'm waiting for my 400. What's her name? Sydney Ariane, yes, will win the 200 though. Okay, hey, I think that she probably will. She's been killing it. But like I said, the beast, when you are a championship racer, it's hard for you to be counted out. And just like she did when she was running the 100 a while ago against the Jamaicans, and she came out across the line and won in the last second. Sha'Carri is not one to be played with, but I agree with you. Ariane does seem to be putting out those numbers. And that depends once again on the start of Sha'Carri Richardson. She gets a good start. It's a whole different story, but I'm excited to see. She's got a kick too. I'm excited to see what is going to take place and how that plays out. Also, I just want really quick, I want to change the question because we were talking, and this is like I told you, today is a hot topic show. I want to talk about a number of things. If I don't do them all at once in one show, then I won't get it all out. We've got to begin to have a conversation about the Biden-Trump debate. This is my first time on the air since that element of what we call a debate took place. Go ahead, Matt. I see you waving.
Yeah, so I was here at the studio actually working it, and I've never been so bored and disappointed with a debate in my life. When it got to the point when they were arguing about who was better at golf, you know, it's like world leaders were watching this debate. The entire United States of America was watching it. You're supposed to be up there, you know, talking about what you're going to do for the country, what differences are between you and the other person, and, you know, stuff like that. Not who's better at golf, you know. It was so embarrassing.
Well, Matt, I want to ask you a question. So what was your takeaway? What was your takeaway from the debate? What was the outcome for you?
America's in a lose-lose situation.
A lose-lose situation. Did you? Okay, I understand what you mean by that, but did you get any clear sense of who these individuals were as candidates? I know you mentioned that they should have been talking about policy and other things. So in terms of the debate, was it a waste of your time, or what did you think?
I mean, yeah, honestly, I think the debate it could have been better, you know. Like, I've seen the videos of Obama and I believe it was Mitt Romney back when you know, they were having debates, and, you know, both of them were all professional, and, oh, you know, we think the same about this policy, but when it comes to this, I do this differently and he would do this, you know, stuff like that. The entire debate was just two grown adults bickering back and forth about what the other person does and doesn't do. And, oh, well, you're a convicted felon. Well, your son's a convicted felon. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
So from that debate, I want to get an understanding of what it is that you're thinking. Jeffrey Bush, Trump is a pathological liar, but Biden isn't cognitively sound at all. I feel bad for him. Let's talk about what Mr. Bulls just said. The fact checkers came in and said that I think Donald Trump lied like 43 times or 34 times, or I'm not sure if the 34 is for the felonies or the 43 is whichever. But he lied an exorbitant amount of times. What was your takeaway, and what did you think about his messaging?
Um, I think honestly, you got to tell the truth, especially on a scale that big when it comes to a debate. Always tell the truth because the fact checkers are going to fact you. You can't lie, especially on that large of a scale, and expect to get away with it.
As as a young person, though, does the truth really matter to you in terms of these candidates?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, when it comes to the bigger stuff, I would say yes, but I mean, I don't know. I guess it really depends on what we're talking about.
Okay, now I want to move over to the other corner because we got a pathological liar in one corner, and then in the other corner, we've been joking with him. I've been joking using the term that Donald Trump, number 45. I said I would never say his name again, but number 45 had coined for him, Sleepy Joe. What did you think about his presentation? His his ability to articulate and present his discussion, his thoughts, and his positions. What was your what is as a young man? How old are you again, Matt?
I'm 18, turning 19.
Okay, as a young 18-year-old, an individual who's going to be voting for the first time, what did you get?
I mean, I feel honestly like some of the spotlight got to him. Like, obviously you could have spoken a little bit better. There were some points, and even Donald Trump said it like, could you even understand what he just said? There were some points I still feel like he did a wonderful job, but there was just some points where it was like, you got to collect yourself a little bit, take a deep breath and just, it's a debate. Don't crap your pants, but you also want to make sense.
All right. I thank you for that. Roderick McCullough, he says, people act like Trump is so much younger and ignore his cognitive deficiency. Well, Roderick, this is what I'm going to say about that. The problem is that there is a huge difference. And unfortunately, your life, your lifestyle, genetics, all of those things play a major role in how you do things. When I look at my aunt, my oldest aunt, she's going to be celebrating this year, I think her 80th birthday. So she is right there with Donald, and she would out debate each of those individuals. She is quick on her feet. She spends time. She's agile. She gets around. She is spunky. She's alive. So I think that lifestyle, genetics, and all those things play a difference. And so one person can be 80 years old, the other person can be 79, 78 years old, and they be very different in their cognitive ability. What we saw with Mr. Biden, and it's unfortunate. I will say the last election, I did vote for Joe Biden. And that's because there's no way on the planet that I could ever vote for a racist like Donald Trump, allegedly. No, I don't even have to say alleged because it's true. We've seen it. And they'll put the disclaimer on after this show. I could never vote for a racist. I don't care how good his politics are. I don't care how good, his platform is. That doesn't even matter. Once you defile your opportunity and your ability to be president, when you do not stand for all Americans, and when you become misogynistic, he's a misogynist. He is just. He has so many things that I could never vote for. And I have friends out there on the Republican side that agree with me on the same side. I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. And as a matter of fact, I was thinking like, hey, who are we going to vote for? But what I saw was a man, Joe Biden. I almost felt like the Democratic Party exploited this man. Like they should have. Someone's been talking with him over the past several months. Someone has been having conversations with Joe Biden. Someone's been meeting with him. They've seen him in the Oval Office. They've seen him do press briefings. They've seen him on a daily basis, and they still allowed him to go on that debate stage. I think that it was a huge miss. I think it was a big falter. I think that it was one of the biggest problems. If that was my father, I were the child, Joe, what's his name? Hunter is the one. Is he the one that's having problems, or he's the one that passed away?
I believe Hunter's the one that's having all the legal issues right now.
So I would have been like, Dad, I got to take my mind off of my situation for a moment. You can't go out there. Jill, if you love your husband, and you've been here to the city of Saginaw, you should have said, baby, we got to find a way to do something different. We cannot do this debate. The Democratic chair, the speechwriters, all of those individuals, you should have known that this dude would not be ready. And to me, I think that he imploded on the stage. And you made a mention of something that was the place at which I stopped watching the debate. Because at this point, with no response, it became obvious that this was a disaster. There was a point that Donald Trump had made, number 45 had made, and Joe Biden was given, I think, 90 seconds to respond or to rebut the statement. He went in, he started talking. The beginning of his words were very strong. It sounded as though he had some, just that foggy in his voice. And, I knew what my grandfather had that same sound. And maybe he had a cold, whatever the situation, whatever they're coming up with, it should have been reason for them not to let it happen. But at the end, he said, and I believe in that women should have the. And when Donald Trump responded, be like, I can't respond to what he said because I have no clue to what he said. I don't think that he even understands what he said. And there was no return or, hey, I got a little cold. No return of fire. I said, he is going down. Mayday, Mayday. It's a code red situation. This is turning into a public live tragedy. And so I think that's it. So the next day, we'll talk about where Democrats are when we come back. But I want to we're going to talk about Bronny James. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. We got to talk about Bronny James. We're also going to talk a little bit about what happened with the Dow Championship, that $3 million purse that's on the line. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Straight Talk, these hot topics. And when you return, thanks.
You're listening to Straight.
Hey, Mid-Michigan, I'm doing the hustle, the halfway hustle. Ryan Wasik here from Bell Wasik GMC Buick, your only local Buick dealer and home of the lifetime warranty. This year's half over, and I'm way behind. I got to hustle if I'm going to hit my goals. So right now, I'll match your down payment on a nicer, newer car, only during my halfway hustle. That's right. Whatever you put down, I'll double it up to $500. So if your old ride is a hassle, do the hustle and ditch it during my halfway hustle, because I'm doubling down payments up to $500. Worried about your credit? My team does the hustle every day to try to help hardworking people get approved. And we only work with the banks and lenders who hustle to try to say yes to you. So do the hustle and ditch your old ride and double your down payment up to $500. Only during my halfway hustle. But hurry, this hustle's done once I get back on track or at the end of the month, whichever comes first. I'm Ryan Wasik and I'm your dealer for the people. See all the cars at RyanApproved.com. That's RyanApproved.com.
Credit and down payment require bank approval. Negative equity may be refinanced. Offer absolutely ends June 30th, 2024.
STARS, the public bus service in Saginaw, is recruiting full-time CDL drivers for bus routes and paratransit to serve our community. Also hiring garage technicians and mechanics. Get your CDL certification through our on-site CDL training program and get paid to learn from the best. STARS has a competitive benefits package with low-deductible health insurance and a pension. Go to Saginaw-stars.com and click on Careers at STARS to apply today. STARS is an equal opportunity employer.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. An important message about your timeshare from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. Contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about timeshare cancellation.
Call 800-881-4242. 800-881-4242.
Hey, it's Steve Harvey, y'all. Here's what happened on the Steve Harvey Morning Show. The dinner table next to me got about 8 people at it having dinner. They leave $200 on the table for the wait. The bus boy come by and slide the $200 in his pocket and look at me, and I just threw both my hands up. That ain't none of my damn business. That ain't none of my damn business.
I'm standing in line at the bank, and I go up there, and I give her a withdrawal slip, and she give me too much money.
Right.
That is none of my damn business. Kiss 107.1, simply the best R&B.
Black Music Month.
The biggest R&B artists.
This is India Ari, and we're celebrating Black Music Month.
Hey, this is Childish Gambino.
This is her.
Are celebrating Black Music
I'm
Month.
Nicole Bus.
This is Ro James.
With us.
Hey, this is Brandy, and this is my Black Music Month station.
Kiss 107.1. Simply the best R&B.
This is the KISS community page, where you can find out about all of the great things that are going on in Saginaw, Bay City, and Midland. Chill at the Funway Amusement Park, formerly known as Kokomo's. It's a family fun day on July 4th, and it starts at 2 p.m. Join in for a great day of fun, craft shows, dunk tanks, and more. Wristbands are $30 per person with unlimited attractions all day long. Activities include music, face painting, games, and more. Anderson Enrichment Center presents Jazz in the Garden. The season kicks off with the Vortex Jazz Band on July 10th. Brush Street featuring Julie Malede will perform on July 17th. The Robert Lee Review on July 24th, and the series concludes with the Sauce Cats on July 31st. The concerts begin at 7 p.m. and are free to the general public. You can find them at 120 Ezra Russ Drive. Get ready, it's time for the Rock and Blues Rib Festival with live music, beer and wine tent, cornhole tournament, food trucks. Get registered to vote, classic car show, merchant vendors, bounce house and gaming trucks, happening on July 20th from 12 to 6 at Ojibwe Island, and it's free. Community organizers, please submit your events at least 2 weeks in advance to kisswtoz.com.
It's Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
This is Kareem. We're back with more of Straight Talk. Before we were going on the break, I was finishing up my commentary on the situation with Joe Biden. So the debate was a disaster. I think that everyone would begin is able to say that collectively as a people. But in addition to that, the aftermath, the fallout, the day after was just hilarious to me. People were running for the hills. We've heard so many people say, "Oh, wait a minute, we got to get a new candidate." But this dude is who is who it is. We've played games. We've allowed this to happen all of this time. So the anti-Trump is now a 80-year-old guy who stammers at his words, who does not look cognitively capable, who looks as though he is thinking about his next step before he takes it. We now see him taking the short ramp up to the Air Force One and this is the thing. I love seniors. I love spending time with seniors, but I think that seniors need to be protected. And nobody protected this guy from his own self. Someone says, well, he's stubborn. Well, this stubbornness is going to be the cause of the demise of the Democrats' opportunity for a successful run at the presidency. Sharice Steele Phillips says, I'm not convinced that in addition to a speech impediment, that there's no early stages of Parkinson. I can't say that. I've not seen it, but I know that there is an early stage of, dude, you're old and you need... Let's look at this. If you would think, and I'm going to say this and then we're going to move on, but if you think about this, when people are running for president, when folks are running for president, even Barack Obama did this. Barack Obama's a black man, but we saw that he would go into the tanner just to make his skin glow a little bit. We saw that, the second time around, he didn't totally dye all of his hair dark, but he did get the edges and he made himself look a bit more young and youthful. He made sure that his dress and attire spoke to the people who were watching, because at the end of the day, everything is a vote. The way you look, the way you move, the way you talk, the issues that you speak, all of those are important. But let's be honest, we can be very superficial as a people. And small things make a difference. When people don't know you and they really aren't sure about what you're about, it is the small things that make a difference. And so we would see him during election campaign cycles having a much more youthful appeal. You see Barack now, Barack who he is when you see him now with all the gray and looking distinguished, that's who he was. But in the heat of the battle, he wanted to give a more nuanced look. He wanted to look like he could be America's president. He wanted to look youthful and vibrant so that he would not be placed in the category of it's time to pass the baton. Somebody should have taken Sleepy Joe to a tanner or even a spray tan or a colorist. Not in terms of race, but someone that could have just giving him a little, make it a little golden so it's not so white. Just do those small things that makes a difference in how we see people, because you don't realize, most folks don't realize that what seeing is believing. So what we see and then have him speak, it changes how we even hear it. And so the whole identity politics, the whole piece of, making him relatable and a little bit more youthful was overlooked. And maybe he said, hey, I don't want to do any of that. If he's not willing to play the game, somebody should say, tick-tock, the game is locked. It's time for you to move. But this is what I'm going to say, and I'm going to be done. There will be, trust me, there will be no one else coming in, because if you bring someone else in to run for president, that is not Kamala Harris, and I do not need Auntie Kamala as our president. But if Kamala Harris, and some of y'all got issues with that, but hey, it is what it is. Go check her record. I didn't like her as a vice president pick. She is who she is. I know y'all sororities are out there. You love her and skiwi and all of that other stuff. God bless your cotton socks. But the fact of the matter is, I don't want her leading the nation. And Joe Biden becoming president means that she now leads elation, possibly. But you can't bring someone else in, because guess what? She was her base. That smart, black, intelligent black woman base that put her and him into office. They resurged and energized his campaign. There'd be a problem, because you can't overlook her now in your pursuit for someone different. So this dude is who we have. If you're looking and hoping for a change of heart, unless this guy steps down and she says that she doesn't want to run, this is who we have. So I think stop running for the hills. I think we have to readjust and just realize that you're going to go with the guy that you hope has 4 years in him, or the orange guy who lies every 3 words that comes out of his mouth. It's a sad day in American politics. Roderick McCullough, two-party systems is why we have what we have. But even in the third, there's a third party out there. Was it RFK Jr.? I mean, this guy, and he's not presidential either. He is a conspiracy theorist, which I'm not liking in a president. He is not. He holds the Kennedy name, but doesn't hold the Kennedy legacy. We saw the family even come out against him in that particular situation, saying that he ain't one of us. He a Kennedy, but he ain't us. So I'm done with that. But I do want to move over to this conversation, and I think that it's an interesting conversation. We're going to talk a little bit about Bronny James, the 2024. What number in the second round?
I believe it was 55, if I'm not mistaken.
The 55th draft pick of the 2024 draft, NBA draft. And it's crazy because it just seems like time is moving so fast. The league just ended it now. I mean, it wasn't like there was a long since Marshall. I had an opportunity to meet you in person. Absolutely love you. Your team folded up and disappeared, but this is what she said. The CEO of the Dallas Mavericks, she told me, she says, Kareem, a lot of people are saying that, hey, how can you get swept in the NBA championships? She says, but what I realized is that there were 28 other teams that were at home watching us play. She said, so I don't think we did so bad. And, to that point, I had to bow out and say, hey, you got a point there. But when we look at this, I want us to think about the draft happened so fast. Bronny James, second round, 55th pick overall. I want to hear what you got to say, Matthew. Give me the young folks' opinion.
So, we've talked about this before, but I think, not anything against Bronny James. I think he's a wonderful basketball player. But there were hundreds of other players, of college basketball players
who should have had the right.
Yeah, exactly. That they worked their entire lives for that moment. And, I saw a post, and it was one of Bronny's teammates. He averaged like 15 points a game, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds. He went undrafted. And if I'm not mistaken, Bronny averaged something like 4-1-1 or 4-2-1 or something like that. 2-3 years down the line, have Bronny get some more season or college seasons in him. But he was a freshman, and he averaged 4 points a game and, probably 2 assists, 1 rebound, whatever it was. In my opinion, the only reason why he got drafted was because of his dad. LeBron, he wanted to play with his dad, and, I get that. Or LeBron wanted to play with his son, and I get that. But at the same time, you can't just draft somebody because of their name. There were so many other people that deserved that spot, and not saying that Bronny didn't, but he was a freshman. The stats weren't there. Nothing really stuck out about him, but he got drafted over all those other deserving players. Another 2-3 years down the line, sure, draft him up. But right now, no, I don't agree with it.
Because he wasn't ready.
Yeah, that, and it was his name, really.
Okay, all right, and there are millions of people who will agree with what you just said. But here's my take on this thing. And what we're talking about is really LeBron James through a process that people would call nepotism. Nepotism is when you use the influence that you have or your position or your power to give an opportunity to another family member. And if it's not a family member and it just has to be somebody who represents your ideas and your beliefs, we call it privilege, right? So when I look at this is what I have to say. And I hope y'all tune in to what I'm getting ready to say, because I think that we are dualistic in our approach to how we see things. And we are what I would consider, we set a double standard in how we look, we believe, we act, and we celebrate. And so I want to say these names, and you tell me if these names mean anything to you at all, Matthew, and to those who are listening. Rockefeller, Walton, Kennedy, Vanderbilt, Buss. And when I say Buss, I'm talking about Jerry Buss and Jeannie Buss, Morgan, Rothschild. I want you to let those names marinate just a little bit, because those are famous family names that have understood and have created great wealth, and they understand the importance of legacy, and they understand the importance of continuing generational wealth and generational opportunities. Now, there's a whole bunch of things that I want to say about this Bronny situation, but I want to start right here with the idea of generational wealth and using nepotism to further generational wealth and generational opportunities. All of those names that I've said before, the Rothschilds, the Rockefeller, these are names of individuals who have created business or railroads or packaging industry, whatever it is. And when they began to get older, legacy admissions, when they began to get older, they began to look within their family bloodline, who's next in line, who's the oldest son, who is the oldest daughter, to position those individuals to take over the family business. Now, were those individuals ready to take over the family business? Absolutely not, because they had not had the experience, nor probably even the education or the pedigree, but they were raised in those families and understanding the importance of family legacy. And so they arose to the occasion, probably to the chagrin of many board members and presidents of organizations, saying that they're not ready. And if they were not ready, they still put them in a position to where they could assume leadership after going through some very basic understanding and training of things. But they understood the importance of keeping their name at the helm because they were building generational wealth and legacy that would go throughout the time. Now I'm going to give you a personal example. And this should resonate with some of you all. There is a young man who owns a basketball team by the name of Matt Ishbia. Matt Ishbia, when I met him, was a bench warmer at Michigan State University. Great guy. I love him and his family. They are like family. We've spent time together. We have traveled together because they are a part of the Big Ten posse, right? I met Matt Ishbia. I was done with school. Matt Ishbia was playing with Jason Richardson, Mateen Cleaves, Charlie Bell, all of the championship team players. And I remember that Matt Ishbia would sit the bench. And he would never get any playing time. And I remember the first time, even after the championships and all those things, I remember the first time that Matt was given an opportunity to play in an actual game. And it was on senior night because he was a senior. And he got out there and he threw the ball up, and it was an air ball. He came back and gave him the ball again. He shot again, and swoosh, he makes the basket. Everyone went crazy because Matt had scored. He was the hype man on the team. He was the greatest cheerleader. He was, I think, one of the greatest attributes and reasons why folks would come off the bench excited, because he played his role as a bench warmer and as kind of like, the water boy on the team that motivated everybody. Matt had a father who is I would meet with on periodically down in Birmingham. He owns so much real estate in Birmingham, named Jeff. Jeff is a phenomenal. He's a lawyer, an attorney. He's worked with Jason Richardson before and other into athletes and hockey players. And Jeff was always wanting his children to kind of do what he did. He was a real estate attorney, did a million of different things. And Jeff, we would meet periodically every other month. We would go down and I would talk with him and then talk with him about issues in sports and entertainment. He was getting involved with Red Wing players and just kind of giving direction and understanding. But his bread and butter was real estate. Getting involved with opening casinos. This dude was next worldly. He was not your average guy. He then he wanted his kids to come and work with him. The kids didn't necessarily want to work with him, but they came in and worked for a little bit. But then they went out and said, Dad, can we start our own thing? And he watched over them as they started their own thing. Matthew, and I cannot remember the older son's name, Justin. Matt and Justin, they were out there. They were running a business in Chicago, real estate business, flipping, doing their thing. As they began to grow, Jeff continually watched over. He continually gave advice. He brought him in. Hey, this is what you can do. Gave him the keys to the thing, to the ship. Let them help navigate. And then they continued to build their own brand. But this was done because their father gave them opportunities that they would not have had because they were not ready. And he put them in a position that they could continually get the skills that were necessary and be covered by the process as he oversaw them as they were growing. And I want to say this because Matthew Ishbia, he and his brother Justin, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, took their company public, United Wholesale Mortgage. Google it, look it up. And his company went public worth $11 billion. Now, this is a young man who followed in his father's footsteps. His father opened doors and gave him opportunities, nepotism, but this is his father. The father's responsibility is to give the child the opportunity to do what he loves and what he desires. And in that space, I'm going to pull the strings that are necessary to give him the training, the education, and the understanding that is necessary for him one day to be ready, even though he's not ready for the opportunity that's presented in this moment. $11 billion. Matt and Justin now are billionaires. Their father already was a billionaire. I assumed that as I met with him and saw the properties and the things and the deals that he was doing, and he would share information, was a great source of information and understanding. I thank you, Jeff Ishbia, for all that you did in sharing information with me. So now Matt is a billionaire. He goes public. His company, he now himself is valuated to be about $6 billion, I believe. He and his brother buy as co-owners the Phoenix Suns. When they show this, I see in the picture of them in their owner suite, their father, Jeff Ishbia. I send him a text. Jeff, great job at preparing your sons for the opportunity that was at hand. Because that's exactly what happened. They weren't ready in the beginning, but he opened the door. He gave them a place to learn and to grow. And they eventually grew into that because they were managed and made to do so. Bronny James coming in, and I know people hate LeBron or whatever, and I've never been a LeBron fan. I know that Magic Johnson, the more I see him play, LeBron is next worldly. He is not average. He would be the greatest on any team that he goes on, but he is not the best basketball player of all time. That right now I understand clearly to be held by Magic Johnson, and I think all the best athletes would say so. But LeBron has done something and understands something that most other players don't understand. What's that look for, Matthew?
Oh, did you mean Michael Jordan?
Michael Jordan. I'm sorry. What did I say? Who did I say?
Magic Johnson.
No,
I'll
I
take
love
the
you, Magic. It was good to see you this weekend, but no, Michael Jordan. Thank you for correcting me, because people are at home like, what? Yeah, Michael Jordan. Magic, one of the greatest point guards ever, but Michael Jordan is the greatest. But what he did was he did what other great people did. Now, Bronny James, is he ready for it right now? Nope. But guess what? He's sitting side by side with his father. He's going to get given the pointers, the notes, the education. I need y'all to understand something, and I learned this at an early age, that athletics is 10% physical and 90% mental. So what he's going to be able to do is prepare his son mentally and give him the cues and show him. And so that when he goes, even though physically he may be restrained, there's something called basketball IQ. It's what made Draymond Green great. He's going to be one of the greatest to ever play. Not because he's the greatest athlete. If you look at him athletically, he's not the best athlete, but his basketball IQ is out of this world. And so LeBron James has brought his son. He's positioned his son. He's done what Jerry Buss did with Jeannie Buss. How did she become the owner of the Lakers? Because her daddy was. When we look at these people, this is what happened. It's called generational positioning. And we have to begin to understand that LeBron understands the long game, while we're getting caught up on the short game. And I think at the end of the day, someone's like, they don't win a champion. No, I think at the end of the day, Bronny James will be all right. He didn't have to play basketball. His father had to play basketball. Jay Richard had to play basketball. Carmelo Anthony had to play basketball to get out of the hood. Their children don't have to do this. But that is where they're passionate about, a father has the responsibility to open door and give him every benefit that he possibly can have. Now, to all of those other folks who out there who are better, more qualified, we've seen this a million times. How many times have we been passed up as generational as a people for opportunities for people's kids who were less talented, but they were the son or the nephew or the cousin or the daughter of someone else? This is what we do. So, as it relates to LeBron James, I applaud you, because you used your positioning in life to make a better path and a better opportunity for your son. And it's a bit hypocritical, because when we look at what Magic Johnson has done for, is it AJ, his son AJ, CJ, AJ, and we see what Dwayne Wade has done for his son, daughter. I can't remember what the child's name is at this moment, and I can't believe it, because that is a family I know very well. When we look at what they did for their kids, when it comes to paving a safe way for them in this world of transgenderism and hate and LGBTQ plus, I think I got it, and how they stood up and used their celebrity and their power to create a space for them to be comfortable. Dwayne Wade, Magic Johnson have both done it. Their children weren't playing basketball, but they used their celebrity to give their children a space. And now we see LeBron James, who has been the father of his children, who has been the husband of one wife, who has stood strong with his wife, now doing the same. It becomes problematic. Come on, we got to check ourselves on this. But anyways, that is my take on that. Jerry Jones, Dallas Cowboys, and children, current and perfect example. Yeah, that's what we do. And if your children were interested in doing what you do, you're going to show them the business. And there may be other people who have worked with you for a long period of time doing what you do. But when your kids have an interest, you're going to have a desire to continue generational wealth, to build legacy, and to give them every advantage possible. All right, now this is the closing of the Dow Championship, and it has been an amazing championship for the city. It's a new name. It used to be the Great Lakes Bay Invitational. It is now the Dow Championship, a certified LPGA Tour game. Dow has done an amazing job this way with SOAR. SOAR is a conference that they bring in that is about equity and inclusion and giving people opportunity and creating spaces for those who are often overlooked. That took place. The children, my young people from the Dow Treasure Academy, was a part of the SOAR process every single step of the way. And I'm so thankful for Dow for giving them that opportunity to meet with the CEO, Jim Fetterling, and then the North American president, and then the HR director of human resource for North America, the new CFO, all of these individuals, Jeff Tate and Karen Carter, president of the largest business that Dow does in packaging, Tiffany Terrain, who has been absolutely phenomenal in the community. You all have seen and know who she is. These kids had an opportunity to not just be in their presence, but to network, get contact information, emails, and phone numbers. Sith Marshall, the CEO of the Economic Development Corporation, Messer. Then they brought in Miss Lynn, who is the president of football, the director of football for Clutch Sports. That is Rich Paul's firm. And they were able to network, and she was giving her contact information and asking them to stay connected. And then Magic Johnson came in, and he shared with these kids, actually promising to bring some of those kids out to LA and show them how he runs his business. And he's done this before. This was absolutely life-changing. It was amazing to see that level of investment. I have never seen those types of opportunities be given to our young people. And so I thank you, Dow, and SOAR, for what you all have done. The Invitational, the purse, $3 million. I think that it's being decided if it has not of this point, because I know the tournament was, I think, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, concluding today. I just want to say thank you for your continued investment. And for those of you out there listening, you've seen some of the posts and heard some of the commentary regarding the Dow Treasure Academy. I want you to go to dowtreasureacademy.com in about a week, and there will be a opportunity for you all to get your children, your young people, and those are 9th graders that are going into the 10th grade. They'll be in 10th grade, involved to apply for that opportunity, so that they can get involved and get into that process and have some of these amazing opportunities that the Dow Treasure Academy affords through the continuous partnership and sponsorship of the Dow Chemical brand. Also, as well, Dick Garber, thank you as well for your investment in what they're doing in terms of leadership, STEM, and other engagements. I want to thank you guys for continuing tuning in. You guys take care of yourselves and each other. It's beautiful outside. The 4th is coming. Enjoy it. Let the sparks fly in the air, but love flow in your heart. Take care of one another. God bless you all. Grace and peace.
You're listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on Kiss 107.